Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi receives the highest civilian award of Mauritius at the National Day celebrations of the island nation. India and Mauritius exchange 8 MOUs, extend cooperation in infrastructure, digital technology and AI. Ukraine backs US proposal for 30-day ceasefire in war with Russia after talks in Saudi Arabia. Washington, D.C. to resume security support to Kyiv. Trump tariffs on steel and aluminium imports come into play. The European Union to retaliate with tariffs of its own. And Greenland's pro-business opposition wins parliamentary election. Trump's pledge to take control of the island clouds political path ahead. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is en route New Delhi after concluding a 2-day visit to Mauritius. He visited Mauritius to attend the island's 57th National Day celebrations. Mauritius witnessed an overwhelming display of love and admiration as people lined up the streets to catch a glimpse of Prime Minister Modi. People were holding the Indian flag along with the flag of Mauritius in their hands. The warm welcome reflected the deep-rooted bond between India and Mauritius, showcasing the strong cultural and historical ties shared by the two nations. Prime Minister Modi has been honoured with the highest national award of Mauritius, the Grand Commander of the Order of the Star and Key of the Indian Ocean. Prime Minister Modi was conferred with Mauritius' highest civilian award by President Dharam Gokul during the celebrations of Mauritius National Day for his stellar contribution to the India-Mauritius partnership. Prime Minister Modi is the first Indian to receive this honour. Prime Minister Modi was the chief guest at the Mauritius National Day celebrations. He accepted the award on behalf of the 1.4 billion people of India.
I express my heartfelt gratitude for being confirmed the highest national award of Mauritius. This is not just my honor. It is the honor of 1.4 billion Indians. It is a tribute to the centuries-old cultural and historical bonds of kinship between India and Mauritius.
Reaffirming India's unwavering commitment to its special maritime neighbour, Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended the National Day celebrations of Mauritius as the chief guest on Wednesday. An Indian Navy contingent took part in the parade. NCC cadets, part of a youth exchange program, also joined the celebrations. A highlight of the event was the A.R. Rahman song Jai Ho, that was placed by the Mauritius band. The song won an Academy Award for Best Original Song and a Grammy Award for Best Song Written for a Motion Picture, Television or Other Visual Media. Prime Minister Modi also extended his greetings of the day to the people of Mauritius.
Mauritius skies welcome the Mauritian Indian tricolor. The Indian contingent from the Indian for National Day. It symbolizes.
Prime Minister Modi and his Mauritian counterpart Naveen Chandra Ramgoolam inaugurated 20 high-impact community development projects and an India-assisted area health centre. These initiatives will bolster Mauritius's healthcare and grassroots infrastructure, bringing tangible benefits to people. The leaders also witnessed the exchange of 8 MOUs in areas such as financial crime prevention, SMEs, public service capacity building, maritime security, and local currency trade. A navigational chart of St. Brandon Island was also handed over. Prime Ministers Modi and Ramgoolam engaged in extensive discussions. Their talks focused on enhancing collaboration in infrastructure, housing, digital technology, healthcare, and AI. Prime Minister Modi and his Mauritian counterpart Naveen Chandra Ramgoolam jointly addressed the press. Prime Minister Modi highlighted India's vision for the Global South, terming it as Mahasagar, mutual and holistic advancement for security and growth across regions. It would guide development cooperation, capacity building, sustainable growth and mutual security.
ग्लोबल साउथ के लिए हमारा विजन रहेगा सागर से आगे बढ़कर के महासागर, यानी म्यूचुअल एंड होलिस्टिक एडवांसमेंट फॉर सिक्योरिटी एंड ग्रोथ अक्रॉस रीजन्स। इसमें ट्रेड फॉर डेवलपमेंट, कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग फॉर सस्टेनेबल ग्रोथ और म्यूचुअल सिक्योरिटी फॉर शेयर्ड फ्यूचर की भावना समाहित है। इसके तहत टेक्नोलॉजी शेयरिंग, कंसेशनल लोन और ग्रांट के माध्यम से सहयोग किया जाएगा।
Addressing a joint press conference, Prime Minister Modi extended India's support to Mauritius for a free, open, secure and safe Indian Ocean.
Free, open, secure एंड सेफ इंडियन ओशन हमारी साझी प्राथमिकता है। हम मॉरिशस के एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन की सुरक्षा में पूर्ण सहयोग देने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध हैं। इस संदर्भ में कोस्ट गार्ड की जरूरतें पूरी करने में हर संभव सहायता दी जाएगी। मॉरिशस में पुलिस अकादमी और नेशनल मैरीटाइम इंफॉर्मेशन शेयरिंग सेंटर, इसकी स्थापना में भारत सहयोग देगा। वाइड शिपिंग, ब्लू इकोनॉमी और हाइड्रोग्राफी, इस पर सहयोग को और मजबूत किया जाएगा। चागोस के संदर्भ में हम मॉरिशस की संप्रभुता का पूर्ण सम्मान करते हैं।
Welcoming Prime Minister Modi, Mauritius Prime Minister Naveen Chandra Ramgoolam highlighted the unique and special relations which binds the two countries.
Prime Minister of the Republic of India has honored us by his presence amidst us on the occasion of the National Day celebrations of the 57th anniversary of our independence. His distinguished presence on this momentous occasion is testimony to the unique and very special relations which bind our two countries. The resounding success of the community event held last evening at the Triano Convention Center, which gathered both Mauritian citizens and members of the Indian diaspora were a clear illustration of the vibrancy of shared cultural heritage.
Prime Minister Modi and his Mauritian counterpart Ravi Chandra Ramgoolam jointly inaugurated the Atal Bihari Vajpayee Institute of Public Service and Innovation. The institute will serve as a hub for learning, research and public service, fostering new ideas and leadership for the future. It also strengthens India's shared commitment to progress and development. Prime Minister Modi spoke to ITEC and Indian government scholarship alumni whose contributions continue to strengthen the partnership. The institute has been named after the late Indian Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. And Prime Minister Modi offered prayers at the Ganga Talab in Mauritius and infused the holy water from the Triveni Sangam at the recently concluded Mahakumbh Mela in Prayagraj. The offerings meaningfully symbolize the shared devotion, cultural affinity and sacred ties between India and Mauritius. Prime Minister Narendra Modi began his day 2 holding meetings with key leaders. Prime Minister Modi met former Mauritius Prime Minister Pravind Jugnauth. They held discussions on enhancing India-Mauritius cooperation. Prime Minister Modi also met the leader of the opposition. They had fruitful deliberations on further strengthening the India-Mauritius friendship. Still to come on DD India Live. China and the EU vow to defend their economic interests against new US steel and aluminium tariffs. And 30 militants killed, 190 hostages rescued after Pakistan train hijacked.
This week on Defense Dynamics, India showcases its naval prowess through Tropex 25. Is the country sending a strong message to China and other regional powers about its maritime power projection? Also, with Pakistan trying to acquire new stealth fighters and China's growing military might, can the Indian Defence Forces counter the looming two-front war? As tensions prevail with China and Bangladesh, are the India's military exercises near critical Siliguri corridor important for safeguarding security in the northeast? And hundreds of Alawite civilians have been killed in Syria's coastal region. Is the new Syrian government turning on its own people? Tune in this Wednesday at 8 p.m. IST only on DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. US President Donald Trump implemented increased tariffs on all US steel and aluminium imports effective Wednesday, marking a step in his effort to reshape global trade in favor of the US. These tariffs restore a 25% duty on the metals and extend to numerous downstream products, impacting industries from automobiles to consumer goods. Trump has halted a plan to double US tariffs on Canadian steel and metal imports to 50% just hours after first threatening them. Tariffs of 25% are still going ahead and will take effect from Wednesday. Trump says he would probably reconsider the decision to double planned steel and aluminium tariffs on imports from Canada hours after announcing the sharp hike.
The right thing to do is what we're doing. We're going to get our jobs back, and we're not going to be left at. Now, I will say this, that already Canada, and I respect very much, as you know, there's a very strong man in Canada who said he was going to charge a surcharge or a tariff on electricity coming into our country. He has called and he said he's not going to do that. Okay, he's not going to do that.
China and the EU vowed to defend their economic interests against the new US steel and aluminium tariffs, which took effect on Wednesday. The European Commission said it will impose countermeasures starting 1st April in response to the US's 25% tariffs on steel and aluminium imports. Regretting the move, European Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen said in a statement the EU would impose quote-unquote countermeasures.
As of this morning, the United States is applying a 25% tariff on imports of steel and aluminum. We deeply regret this measure. Tariffs are taxes. They are bad for business and worse for consumers. They are disrupting supply chains. They bring uncertainty for the economy. Jobs are at stake. Prices up. Nobody needs that on both sides, neither in the European Union nor in the United States.
China, on the other hand, while not a major steel exporter to the US, vowed to take all necessary measures in response, warning that trade wars have no winners and could harm the global trading system. Japan said on Wednesday that it was regrettable that the country had not been granted an exemption from Trump's steel and aluminium tariffs of 25%. Asked if Japan was considering retaliatory measures, government spokesperson Hayashi Yoshimasa said the two nations would continue to discuss details of the duties which came into force on Wednesday. Ukraine conflict seems to be diminishing as Ukraine accepted US-brokered 30-day ceasefire proposal and to hold immediate negotiations with Russia during peace talks in Saudi Arabia's Jeddah.
United States' 30-day ceasefire proposal marked a pivotal decision in the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine, as top US and Ukrainian officials held talks in Saudi Arabia's Jeddah, aiming to move ahead towards ending the 3-year-long conflict. In a significant development, Ukraine has agreed to accept the ceasefire proposal and to hold immediate negotiations with Russia, a step towards restoring a durable peace, according to a joint US-Ukraine statement on Tuesday.
It is indeed written there that Ukraine is ready to accept, if Russia agrees to it. To introduce a 30-day ceasefire is the first step in order to start preparing some more important document to prepare for negotiations.
The statement further said that the two sides have also agreed to conclude a comprehensive agreement for developing Ukraine's critical mineral resource soon. Also, the United States have agreed to resume military aid and intelligence sharing with Ukraine. US President Donald Trump lauded the decision at Jeddah talks, while affirming hope that Russia will also agree to it in a meeting with their officials soon. Trump also mentioned that he will invite the Ukrainian president again to the White House.
Ukraine, ceasefire, just agreed to a little while ago. Now we have to go to Russia and hopefully President Putin will agree to that also. We're going to meet with him later on today and tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be able to wipe out a deal. But I think the ceasefire is very important.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky also hailed the offer, saying that the ceasefire was a positive proposal that covers the front line in the conflict, not just fighting by air and sea.
The American side proposed taking a first step forward, establishing a full ceasefire for 30 days. Not just stopping missiles, drones and bombs, not just ensuring security in the Black Sea, but implementing a complete ceasefire along the entire front line. Ukraine welcomes this proposal.
US Secretary of Staff Marco Rubio said that now the offer will be taken to the Russians and that the ball is now in Moscow's court.
Today we made an offer that the Ukrainians have accepted, which is to enter into a ceasefire and into immediate negotiations to end this conflict in a way that's enduring and sustainable. Hopefully we'll take this offer now to the Russians. And we hope that they'll say yes to peace. The ball is now in their court.
Leaders of the European Union welcomed Ukraine's decision to accept the US ceasefire proposal. European Council President Antonio Costa, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and French President Emmanuel Macron calls it a positive progress towards a comprehensive, just and lasting peace for Ukraine. With these significant US brokered steps taken at the Jeddah talks, President Trump seems to have been on track to fulfill his promises made to end the Ukraine conflict. Bureau Report, DD India.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio arrived at Ireland airport on Wednesday after concluding his talks with Ukrainian delegation at Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. Marco Rubio said the United States will have contact with Russia about the agreement reached with Ukraine on a 30-day ceasefire. He urged him strongly to consider ending all hostilities. Meanwhile, on the minerals deal, he said minerals deal will give U.S. vested interest in Ukraine's security. He also said that he would not raise Canada's sovereignty following taunts by President Trump at the G7 foreign ministers meeting in Quebec, Canada on Wednesday. Russia said on Wednesday that it needed to be briefed by the U.S. on the outcome of the U.S.-Ukraine talks in Saudi Arabia before commenting on a proposed 30-day ceasefire in Ukraine. Ukraine expressed readiness to support the ceasefire, and U.S. officials Marco Rubio and Mike Waltz plan to brief Russia on the talks. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said that Moscow expects detailed information in the coming days and did not rule out a potential phone call between Presidents Putin and Trump. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said in an interview published on Wednesday that Moscow will avoid compromises in a possible Ukraine peace deal that could jeopardize lives.
Europe and the UK, they certainly want this to continue. The way they received Zelensky in London after the scandal in Washington, and it's an indication that they want to raise the stakes, and they are preparing something to pressure Trump administration back into some aggressive action against Russia.
Militants attacked Pakistan's Jafar Express in Balochistan, injuring the driver and derailing the train. The Baloch Liberation Army took 214 passengers hostage out of 425 on board. Security forces engaged in a fierce gunfight but struggled because of the rugged terrain. At least 30 militants were killed in the operation, while Pakistani forces rescued 190 hostages. Dozens remain captive as the BLA demands the release of political prisoners. In response, Pakistan has suspended railway services to Quetta. With the announcement of Greenland election result and the victory of pro-business opposition over the incumbent left-wing coalition amid Trump's pledge to take control of the mineral-rich island, the political scenario of the island may witness major changes.
Greenland's pro-business opposition Democratic Party won Tuesday's closely watched parliamentary election, beating the incumbent left-wing coalition in a vote dominated by US President Donald Trump's pledge to take control over the island. Democratic, which favors a slow approach to independence from Denmark, secured 29.9% of the votes, with all ballots counted, up from 9.1% in 2021, ahead of the opposition Nalarak Party, which favors rapid independence at 24.5%. Greenland is a former Danish colony, and Copenhagen still controls foreign affairs and defense and monetary policy, provides just under $1 billion a year to the economy. In 2009, it won the right to declare full independence through a referendum, even though it has not done so out of concern that living standards would drop without Denmark's economic support. The vast island has been caught up in a geopolitical race for dominance in the Arctic, where melting ice caps are making its resources more accessible and opening new shipping routes. Both Russia and China have intensified military activity in the region. Since taking office in January, Donald Trump has vowed to make Greenland part of the United States, saying it is vital to US security interests, an idea rejected by most Greenlanders. Trump said he is determined to get the vast Arctic island one way or the other. The lead up to the election to choose the 31-seat parliament was mostly marked by debates on healthcare, education, and future ties with Denmark. All of Greenland's main political parties back independence but disagree on the time frame. Bureau Report, DD India.
India's media and entertainment industry is evolving rapidly, and platforms such as Waves are playing a crucial role in shaping its future. One such exciting initiative by Doordarshan called Wah Ustad. DD India Siddharth Bharadwaj gets you more.
India's media and entertainment industry is already touching the sky. But to further enhance its Waves, which is World Audio Visual and Entertainment Summit, is providing a platform, especially to the youngsters, to come and showcase their talent. It has somewhere around 31 challenges. One of them is Wah Ustad. It is providing platform to the participants to come and showcase their singing prowess. And further, when they'll be selected, they'll be going to the next round. So let's see what Waves got for you. India's media and entertainment industry is evolving, and Waves is at the heart of this transformation. At this grand forum, the singing competition, Wah Ustad has emerged as a platform for young talents to shine. Enthusiastic participants took center stage, hoping to make a mark in the industry.
वाह उस्ताद एक बहुत ही अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म है जिससे आगे सीखने को बहुत कुछ मिलेगा.
I am very happy and thank you Waves.
बहुत कुछ सीखेंगे और एक एक्सपीरियंस लेके जाएंगे.
We are extremely honored and grateful and thankful to Doordarshan, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, for bringing out an initiative like Waves and also for making us the Gharana part of it.
The journey doesn't end here. These selected contestants will now compete in the next rounds, proving their mettle in the music industry. With initiatives like Wah Ustad, Waves is not just a summit, it's a launchpad for talent, giving India's youth a global platform. The future of the entertainment industry looks promising, and it all begins here.
And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can get the latest news and updates on the DD India mobile app. It's available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code now on your screen to download it. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. From all of us here in New Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.